February 25th, 1206 District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe! What is it? I like how he walks away and comes back like a little sad puppy dog. You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And on top of it, and to top it off, you call me here? I've been seen happier people at funerals. I take it it's Lana having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this for if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know 2 rules of evidence law. 1. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law from Miss Sky explains the 2 rules of evidence law. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good, though. Right now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, Detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth. The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility has been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Sky found out she was unwittingly caused a man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, Detective. Wait, you're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him. No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. February 25th, 1252. District Court, Courtroom Number 9. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, ahem. Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, ahem. This isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses. I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone's been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but as a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls the Time's finally come to bring out the real murderer.
Take that!
Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right, Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What's this? Is this some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant. The court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh? Like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. SL9 incident. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. The power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. So yeah, here we go. We're gonna save just in case if there's anything like massive that'll affect us. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there for Dark when Dark ran for it. So, the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first, so Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that! The elevator stopped all of a sudden, and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. It's not funny. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body, it had already been moved. So that means you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you're better off staring at the court record. Worthy! Always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties to Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow, I've got to link Gant to the incident. Alright, here we go. We gotta find something that could really fit in. And nothing to do with the forgery. Let's see here. Sky, executive investigators, Damon Gant, and Lana Sky. So it could be this. Let's see what else. The evidence list. Oh, I wish it showed the front. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Right, so at least we know that. Alright, I'm gonna guess that it's going to be... trying to see. I remember seeing it earlier what I think it might be. The SL9 files? No, it's not. Oh boy. Yeah, this is the part where after this I'm just completely blank. So, yeah. Let's save, actually. I think we did save them, but just in case, because... yeah, this was before, so... Alright, let's take a look. Evidence list... guess we could try the evidence list? Okay, I was actually right, wow. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery, but I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example. That's the list Miss Sky drew on her picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office, both are concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this? Oh, here's the defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My, kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Evidence and forgery. Let's see, what is it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the Chief of Police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but you would mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, Udgy. In return, though, I know. That place, right? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? Something's up. So let's save just in case it's something drastic. That was accidentally about to load it rather than play it. Rather than save over it. I'd appreciate if you stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't but have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into the cattle ranch and tipped. Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry the evidence, can you? If you can prove to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they'll prove his investigation was illegal. I never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did not place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have been suddenly materialized in the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient, right? The Chief is talking about a possibility, so as long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, they will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Righto! Think about it! How can you look me in the eyes and say that? Because I'm innocent! Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all of this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would of course be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh, the resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is a sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without the case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of the SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did do it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know better than me. Better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for: me, myself, and I. It's out in the open now. Gee, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. It would be anyone's a compliance if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Anna's little sister, was it? If you think I'll feel sorry for her, you better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. But be careful on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Ha ha ha! Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? True, you might have not helped out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief with a nice man who likes to lend people a coffee? That's not what I meant. Very well then. Who is this person that you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Right, oh my boy. That look on your face. It's almost enough to motivate even me to help you out. Okay, just save that just in case. Chief Gant would want something in return. He must have wanted to be able to blackmail the person he helped. Okay, yeah, now it's, let's go back to that. Come on, a little bit of text, but we could do this. Point out the compliance, and yeah, this one's pretty easy. I don't know why I didn't answer it earlier, but it is Lana Skye. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye? The defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister Lana? But as far as Chief Gant, he wouldn't have a reason to help Lana if she didn't ask him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit all of this? He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authorities over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh wait, you must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive to her as a chief prosecutor so you could control her? Righto, my boy, you have quite the imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this, that I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana, she's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all remains to nothing more than a mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been beating her, controlling her. Worthy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? What? Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious, huh? This is an affront to the highest-ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the Chief of Police of blackmail and murder? That's... impossible! Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in the easy-to-understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the Chief, a high-ranking officer of law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got. And for better, well, it better be good. Show us this evidence that Detective Goodman ties to Detective Goodman to the murder of Detective Goodman. Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. I'm gonna guess the ID card. This is the ID card list? Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID card on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It is your card number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. But in the same as the renaming of remaining ID and hub... Wait. ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Getting some angry emotions out of him. Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense search of my office was in violation of regulations, and I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm Chief of Police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you on that day, would he? Of course not! Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. I hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant. I'm afraid you've just done yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crimes. We need to be more determined. To determine one more thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet with Chief Gant on the day of the crime. I'm gonna guess it's the missing item report. Can only be submitted to the Chief of Police. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or, to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the Chief of Police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form the form to you, Chief Gant. Then you accomplished the detective to the evidence room. Accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the same room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait! The Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. Could he have just lent him his ID card? Yes. Now then, what I mentioned it, I believe I might have done something of that note. Sorry, but that's not a possibility. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you hadn't lent to Detective Goodman, it wouldn't have been found on his body. No! Yeah, that's a crazy and scary looking breakdown. Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur of the moment crime for no one in their right mind, which chose the police department as a place to commit murder. After all the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. What you're forgetting, Mr. Wright. The victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the very next day, the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed off the prosecutor's... Oh, wait. Oh my god, that was Edgeworth. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have the entire police force at your disposal. Oh, do you think that's just an order to an officer? Hey you! Take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the important evidence, all the evidence we need to prove that you moved the body from the prosecutor's office, and all this time thought it was a seedless clue to... Oh my god, I can't... Ugh, my vision got blurry there for a second because I'm getting tired. And all this time I thought it was it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief had moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief can't use this. Maybe it's the autopsy report?
Take that!
Well, I see. Maybe I'll use this later to move over your dead body, Mr. Wright. Huh? Okay, never mind. It wasn't that. And I'll help you dispose of it. Excuse me, Judge. Rude. Chief Gant stayed at the PD and Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office. That only leaves one possible way he could have moved the body. The only problem is, how did he get him to do it? You know, maybe the piece of evidence really did have something to do with this case. Wait, was it the... I'm going to guess that it's somehow the screwdriver.
Take that!
This is how Detective Goodman's body. What? Is that a screwdriver? What does that have to do with the case? Mr. Edgeworth, think about the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Ah! I was asked to go by the Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car! Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes, unless you... Of course. You have another explanation, Chief? Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to this photograph a Star took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. Oh my god. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe... Your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? But that's not a right to be casually invoked. These are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away from after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright? Your Honor? Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body. Do you have any concrete proof? I can't just let him squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor, I do have such evidence. Please hurry up and present it. Just remember. Oh boy, better not be like a huge penalty this one. It better prove Chief Gamon. I combined Gant and Damon together. Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of doubt. Evidence from floor plans, maybe? So, what exactly is this evidence? It's proof... Okay. Never mind. So, let's see here, then. Trying to see what the heck could it be. Between 4 o'clock p.m. Oh wait, it could be this. The autopsy report. Ah, crap. No, it's not. Okay. It's not that. Evidence list. Maybe the evidence locker? Nope. Alright. Oh my god. see here. Oh wait, his ID card. Is it the ID record?
Take that!
Oh no, it's not. Oh boy. We're in one of these positions again.
Take that!
Oh boy. I think we're gonna have to go with I have no proof yet. I just took a quick look at my notes. That has no mention of anything. There's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Aji? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto? It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Aji, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. Wah! Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's no one's lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of having her testimony. A lady who knows the truth? Another witness? In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't stop now. Yes, Your Honor, the defense calls forth.
Take that!
The defendant? Miss Lana Skye? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task was to dispose of the victim's body in accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well, the court will take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defense testimony. This court will now be... Hold on! Huh? Chief Gant! I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty of Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. All right then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Okay. If there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. February 25th, 2:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks for your help, Edgeworth. That chief. He's something else, pals? Detective Gumshoe! Ha ha ha! I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office! My office? Sure! I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl who used to work with you. Wait, we used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again! How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair. He's the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. But, Chief, that is not right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders? She must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you don't want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait here? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. Next time on Ace Attorney, it's the final episode. We'll see you guys then.